1 month after the Hyderabad twin blast, the probe into the dastardly terror strike is moving around in circles. There were leads, but there's no breakthrough. Tonight, for the first time, we reveal that elusive, hard to pin down piece of evidence, the missing link that can turn the probe around. This is a Headlines Today national exclusive.
Just moments before Hyderabad shook, as they were busy carting parcels of terror to the blast site. Intent on their designs, unaware that their movements were being captured on a CCTV camera. These merchants of death stand exposed on Headlines Today. February 21, 2013. It was a Thursday evening. Hyderabad's Dilsukh Nagar area was bustling. At the bus stop, office goers were in a hurry to get home. The matinee show at the nearby Konark Theatre had just got over. Another one at Venkatadri was about to get over too. Just then, the terror that lurked in the shadows had joined the milling crowds, setting in motion the most horrible chain of events. Headlines Today has accessed the CCTV images from a shop near the blast site, the showroom of JC Brothers in Dilsukh Nagar. This is CCTV installed inside the shop on which images of the terrorists were recorded as they hurried towards their targets with explosives. Please note that the time displayed on the CCTV images is of an hour prior to the actual events. So what appears to be 5:33 p.m. on the CCTV is actually 6:33 p.m.
On 21st of February, evening 6:30 p.m., this area in Dilsukh Nagar was teeming with people going about their work. But there was somebody who was keeping an eye on all of them, and that was the CCTV camera of this particular shopping complex. This camera was keeping an eye on everybody who was coming into the complex, moving about outside, passing through this area.
Now we piece together the sequence of events as they unfolded before the blast. Watch the first plotter in action. At 6:33 p.m., the first terrorist can be seen riding an old bicycle that has a white mudguard. A white parcel can be seen strapped to the carrier. Police suspect that this is one of the two cycles used in the Hyderabad serial blast and that inside this very packet were hidden the explosives used in the blast. We now shift focus to the second sequence that features plotter number 2. Within the next 2 minutes, the second terrorist can be seen making his way through the market with another cycle that has another white parcel tied to it. This man wears a check shirt and a cap. He too is carrying a rucksack on his back and appears to be very cautious. Now we get you sequence 3, once again featuring plotter number 2. The second plotter is once again caught on the CCTV camera less than 5 minutes later. The terrorist appears nervous and is walking in a hurry. He seems to be returning after having planted the bomb because the cycle with the white parcel is now missing. However, the rucksack he was carrying can still be seen. Cops are now minutely studying these 3 sequences that happened within 7 minutes. The CCTV that captured these images is just 50 meters away from the blast site. On your screens are the 2 merchants of death with the 2 cycles that the cops believe were used to carry out the terror strikes. A glaring similarity, both cycles are old and have a white parcel tied to the carrier. The 2 plotters moved within 2 minutes of each other. Remember that Hyderabad blast happened just 2 minutes apart.
हाँ लगा है, हम लोगों ने दिया है उन लोगों को, हमारे इधर पुलिस स्टेशन में भी दिया है और इंटेलिजेंस वाले कुछ आके ले गए हैं, तो डिटेक्टिव डिपार्टमेंट वाले 2-3 डिपार्टमेंट वाले आके लेके गए.
A quick recap of the images reveals the missing link. 6:33 p.m. the first plotter makes his move. 6:35, the second terrorist follows. At 6:41 p.m., the second plotter returns. These images tell a hair-raising tale, the story of those 25 minutes that exposed the men who plotted to send Hyderabad hurtling towards chaos and death.
Among the several CCTV footages retrieved by the investigative agencies after the Hyderabad twin blast, this particular video is said to be crucial because while it may not really identify the suspects or zero in on them, it will surely go a long way in corroborating eyewitness accounts of suspicious movement of people before the blast. It will also come in handy at the time of a possible identification parade whenever suspects are rounded up. With Arun Singh in Delhi, Mridula Chunduri in Hyderabad for Headlines Today.
So far, the officers who were tracking this case have been saying that the leads are running cold. They aren't being able to nab the perpetrators. Headlines Today is putting out this story in the hope that those who are watching in Hyderabad, those who are watching elsewhere across the country, will help the police now identify or give leads which could help pin down the perpetrators. Joining us at this time, live from Hyderabad tonight, is my colleague Mridula Chanduri. She's right outside the busy area, right outside that same shop from where the CCTV images were taken. Also joining us is editor investigations Ashish Khaitan. He's been speaking to the NIA officers who are investigating this case. He's got live updates for us. A. Verma, former chief of the research and analysis wing, is with us for some perspective. I want to go across to Mridula first. Mridula, this is a very busy area, and what we've unearthed is very crucial evidence. This is the first time anyone's actually seen, and I'll ask our producers to play that once more, please, images of the perpetrators coming and planting the bombs. You've been speaking to several officers in the Hyderabad police. How significant do they believe these new leads are? It's exactly 1 month since Hyderabad attacks. Do you think that this could provide them vital clues, Mridula?
Well, such footage is very much welcome for any investigative agencies because it does show suspicious movement just before the blast, and that is coming in very handy for the police because every other lead, like we've said, has gone cold. They were not able to identify anybody who could have purchased such a cycle. They couldn't identify anybody who may have taken lodges near this area, and not even terror suspects who are already in jails could help identify any sleeper cells. But this particular area here where the CCTV footage was taken from the shop is right next to me. The footage that you see was taken from this particular shop, and the suspects have gone through this area is what we understand from the footage also. So this footage will come in handy in terms of identifying at least the location, the kind of people who are moving around in that area, and that what the police, I understand, are trying to do is see if these people who are seen in these visuals can be identified by the eyewitnesses who were there at that area in this locality at that point of time, an hour before the blast, who may have identified them, who can possibly throw some light on who these people could be, where were they coming from, and what were they doing at that particular point of time. Because this footage only shows this stretch of road that you see behind me and nothing more. So what they did after they went from this road and where did they park those vehicles, all that they can be corroborated by any eyewitnesses who may come forward after seeing this footage.
Ashish Khaitan, where has the NIA team reached so far? There was a lot of talk of how they found crucial evidence, that they would nab the perpetrators. A month has passed. Our officers seem to have nothing to show for all the effort they've made.
Rahul, to be honest, the NIA is still groping in the dark. Yes, they have certain leads, they have certain analysis, and they have some prime suspects. And those prime suspects emerge from the list of absconders from the Pune JM Road blast, from the Mumbai blast 2011, from the Delhi blast. So these are prime suspects. But coming back to this footage, there are 3 or 4 important points, Rahul, which emerge from this footage. One, the planters reached the blast site on bicycle, which means that the planters had a hideout somewhere close to the blast site. Now this reinforces our knowledge about Indian Mujahideen and their modus operandi. We should remember that in Pune German bakery blast also, Yasin Bhatkal and his accomplice Katil Siddiqui, they had rented a flat at Katrej, which was again close to the blast site. So this is a typical Indian Mujahideen modus operandi, that just weeks before the blast, they rent a place close to the blast site, and from the blast site, then they take these bombs to the actual site, to the actual target area, and plant these bombs. So in the CCTV footage, we can see that the bombers came on bicycle, which gives police a lot of hope, and actually it also circumscribes their investigation in a way that they have to now look for hideouts close to the blast site. That's one important point. The second important point, Rahul, is that they are wearing caps. The bombers are wearing caps. We should remember that in Pune, German bakery also the bomber, who later turned out to be Yasin Bhatkal, was wearing a cap. So this all further reinforces our knowledge and our indication that Indian Mujahideen is behind this blast.
Do you agree with that assessment, Mr. Verma? How important do you believe the CCTV images really are, and can they help us understand who's responsible for what happened at Hyderabad?
I do think that these images can provide a clue, but there will need a lot of hard work, footwork, and analysis, and that's going to be time consuming. But starting as a point from where to proceed further, I think this does serve a very important function.
The Indian Mujahideen stamp seems to be all over the Hyderabad blast, and the one person who has his imprint over what happened in Hyderabad, Ashish also mentioned his role in Pune, is Yasin Bhatkal, who's now emerged as a terror mastermind. He's the man who was physically caught on camera planting the bombs in the Pune German bakery. He's now taken a far bigger role. My colleague Shiv Arur has more on the Yasin Bhatkal connection. Shiv, take it away.
There is a clear Yasin Bhatkal footprint in the Hyderabad blast case. He's the leader of the Indian Mujahideen in India. Yasin Bhatkal was involved, remember, in the Pune blast case as well. Take a look at these two pictures. This person in the cap here, really clear picture. He was captured on CCTV at Pune blast case, the German bakery blast. The picture here also captured on CCTV, much less clear. Could be Yasin Bhatkal, but it could also be other people. Remember, he was the one who placed the explosive at the German bakery. A similar modus operandi can be seen in the CCTV footage from the Hyderabad blast case as well. There also a person, if you can make out from that image, is trying to conceal his face. In both images, there is a clear attempt to hide identity by wearing some kind of a headdress or a cap. Also, both the bomb planters are seen carrying rucksacks. Much clearer in this picture, less clear in that picture, but that's definitely a rucksack. Now, a close-range camera had caught Bhatkal at the German bakery, as you can see in this picture, and he's alleged to be the key conspirator also in Hyderabad. Yasin may have planted the bomb behind the bus stop near Venkatadri Theatre in Hyderabad. So who could these men actually be, the one in that particular photograph? Now, this man could be Yasin Bhatkal, leader of the Indian Mujahideen's operations in India. Remember, he reactivated the iron sleeper cell in Hyderabad that was responsible for the blast. He could have planted the bomb behind the bus stop near Venkatadri Theatre, and he was first named, remember, in the 2008 Delhi blast case. If not Bhatkal, who else could these people actually be? Remember, we've got the names and you're hearing them first here on Headlines today. Tabrez alias Abdullah Akhtar. He's a 26-year-old Indian Mujahideen operative. Tabrez is wanted in the Javeri Bazaar blast case. That's why his name is first come up. It could also be Waqas. He's also known as Ahmad. He's a new key player in the Indian Mujahideen's core group and known to have direct links with Pakistan. He's another possibility. The third is Tehseen Akhtar Sheikh, alias Monu, another name you're hearing first here on Headlines today. He's supposed to be a trusted comrade of Yasin Bhatkal and a key member of the Darbhanga module. So these are some of the people who are possibilities in those photographs that you're seeing first from the Hyderabad blast.
Thank you very much, Shiv. But what concerns me, Mr. Verma, most is that Yasin Bhatkal is a terror operative who India had in their custody in a Kolkata prison in 2009. And Ashish Khaitan broke that story the day after the Hyderabad blast. We let him go. Very clearly, he is the same person who perpetrated the Pune blast. His image was caught on camera. It's a grave failing on the part of our investigating agencies to allow these people to do this again and again and again.
Since we are such a large country and our resources are very greatly scattered, 100% security is just impossible. It will be wrong on our part to expect that such a security will be provided. Now, in this particular case, what may have happened, one doesn't need to see that Bhatkal is present there or he is a direct inspiration. Now, in the country, this idea of rebelling against the state has been caught on by a sizable section of people. who, having been inspired originally by an ideology, are prepared to take action on their own without any direct guidance. And I think this is what is happening. Whether Bhatkal is directly involved in this or not is immaterial, but what he had sought to achieve, he has achieved. Now, this is the same thing which has happened with Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda chief is dead, but his idea is not dead, and it is spreading all over.
And that's the fear, Ashish, with the Indian Mujahideen. Unlike, say, a Qasab who comes from Pakistan and comes for a particular mission, these people, because most of them are Indians, although their Akas are in Pakistan, because they're Indians, they can stay in places close to where the blast happened, and nobody will ever be able to find them out because they're locals, they come from that area, they blend right in.
Spot on, Rahul. That's the key to Indian Mujahideen success. One, the Indian Mujahideen has been able to find new recruits. In the past, we have seen that how Pune 8 years, Maharashtra 8 years, Hyderabad CIC and other agencies have been successful in dismantling certain modules. But every time a module was dismantled, Indian Mujahideen found new recruits and found new breeding grounds in Darbhanga, in Bihar, in Karnataka, down south. So they are finding new breeding grounds. So this is a cause of concern. The second key to Indian Mujahideen's success is that they use the Indian youth for planting bombs, and the bulk of the cadre of Indian Mujahideen and also the bulk of the conspirators, the inner circle of Indian Mujahideen comprises of Indians. So they know the locations, they know the neighborhoods, they know their targets, and they know how to get in and get out of situations. Because had there been Pakistanis or some other nationals, persons from other nationalities involved, then there is a danger of getting caught. So, like in the case of Yasin Bhatkal, he was caught in Kolkata by Kolkata STF in 2009, but he knew how to dupe the Kolkata STF and get away. So that's the key to Indian Mujahideen's success, is that one, they are finding new recruits, new breeding grounds. Two, the bulk of the cadre and the inner circle of Indian Mujahideen comprises of Indian youth.
Mr. Varma, before I end the first part of our broadcast tonight, on the back of the images that Headlines Today has put up in the public domain this evening, what should the Hyderabad police and also the NIA do to ensure that these vital clues actually lead to results in the end?
Number one, Indian Mujahideen has become a brand name. And it need not be linked to any particular individual who may have at one time been the source or inspiration, but he need not be connected with everything. Secondly, the virus which he spread, the original perpetrator spread, has got widely scattered. So there will be individual incidents of this kind which will be very difficult to identify, but one has to work. But whatever clue one has, with a lot of legwork will be involved, a lot of good analysis will be involved. All that is necessary if we want these cases to be completely unmasked.
Okay, I just want to play that sequence out once again. There you see Terrorist 1. Just take it up full frame, please. Terrorist 1 entering that thin lane. He goes, and I hope you can see it on the television screens that you've got in front of you. He goes in, he plants the bomb. Time is 6:35. It shows on that camera that it's 5:35. It's actually 6:35. This is Terrorist 2. He's also got a cap on. He's got that thing at the back you see in the white. That's the explosive. He goes in on that cycle. He plants it, just acting very nonchalant, making it seem as if there's nothing at all amiss. Now you'll see him come back. Now you'll see him emerge. There he is. That's the terrorist. He's now coming back. He's walking out. He's left the cycle over there. 17 people die a few moments after that. He's left the cycle. He's walked out. Now the challenge for the NIA, the challenge for the Hyderabad police is to use this new evidence and to nab the perpetrators. That's the key. Mridula Chanduri, Ashish Khaitan and Mr. Varma for joining us on Center Stage with your analysis, your perspective in this breaking story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.